Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Good deal. 1 second. It's Dr. Wick. Hello? Well, greetings, everyone. I hope you can see me. I'm hoping I can certify this class tonight. There's just a couple folks I need to make sure come. Hello, Sharon.
Hello,
Are you
sir.
on it?
Yes, I am here.
Good deal. Let's see. Let me go for this. Alma Garcia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Good deal. And you helped last time too. I appreciate you. Amanda Muzanjenko,
I'm here.
how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I think I'm all right. How are my, let's see if I got this right.
I'm here, but they heard your voice and he knows that you.
How's Best Buy doing these days?
Best Buy is doing good.
All right, thank you. Angelica,
That's me.
okay, got you. Emma,
I'm here.
good deal. Oops, like this. Gabriel Mulvaney,
Hello.
are you? I have you as interested in music, and what was the other thing?
Uh, it was either gaming or it was art.
Hmm, maybe. What do you like best?
That is a really hard thing to say personally. Uh,
I'll just do both.
okay.
Holly, are you there?
I'm here.
Good deal. Hunter, thanks for helping Hunter again. Let's see. Erica, you got to, I think, mute that. I think. Let's see. Who else? Indira.
Yes, I'm present. Hello.
Yes, I hear you. Thank you. Jamie. Jamie Anderson.
Here.
Oh, Nikki. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm here.
So Jamie's not, but Nikki is.
Basically, yes.
Jennifer. Jennifer, you
I'm
there?
here.
Joshua.
I'm here.
Joshua, this is your first class, right?
Yes.
Good deal. Lexa,
I'm here.
did you guys get a message about tonight being here and in class?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, good. Lillian,
Hi. Hello, I'm here.
is that Lillian?
Yeah.
How many dogs do you have today?
None in my house right now.
What happened to my 2 dogs?
They are in the main house.
All right. Marissa,
Yes.
so you're here.
Yes.
So going back to my 2 dogs, they're in the main house. Is that between the tennis court and the swimming pool?
I wish.
All right. Well, we're just throwing it out there, see if it sticks.
It almost stuck. Almost.
All right. Let's see here. Hold on 1 second. Monica, are you there?
Here.
Good deal. And Rabah? Rabah,
I'm here.
all right, I got you. Calzada, Rebecca?
I'm here.
Mark you down here. Good deal. Rosio Morales.
I'm here.
Let's see, Rosio Morales, good deal. Ryan Klausch.
Yes, I'm here.
Help me out. What was that last name?
Clunch.
That's right. Sharon,
Yes. Yes, sir.
you're here. I got you. So I'm missing just a few folks, and I'm trying to certify this class. So I just want to go over those names real quick, just in case I missed anyone. So Erica Whitehead, you're here. How about
Yes, I'm here.
Vanessa Cantula? No, Vanessa? That's one important one. How about Mahogany Gillis? Gillis. And the other Gillis. There's 2 Gillises. How about Jordan? Are you here? No, Jordan. And one other person. Venancio. No, Venancio. How about Alex Rodriguez? No, Alex. And Dylan. No, Dylan. Hold on, you guys. 1 second. Hold on. I'm sending out a quick message. So Vanessa doesn't have this. No. Homogeneous. Dylan. Alex. No Alex. It's important to figure out. more stuff, you guys. I haven't forgotten you. Got a couple little house things I've got to do here. Let's see. Here. So here. Should be helpful. What happened there? Did someone yawn?
I got a hiccup.
Hiccup.
Yeah, hiccup.
Okay. Cool. Okay. I'll just send this. I think we're good. All right. I think I sent this out. I'm trying to certify you guys, and there are a few folks that aren't here. So if anybody comes on board and if somebody be willing to tell me who they are, I would really be appreciative because I just got a few folks I need to make sure are coming to class and I can certify you guys. I don't know if you know what that means. It means your scholarship money and stuff will be kicking in. Grants or anything like that through the college. All right. So, see, who do I have marked here? It's been Alma Garcia. You still here? Alma?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Would you be willing to do that?
Am I being in class right now? Yes.
Okay. Let's see. I did get a response from somebody. Kelly Leggett, I guess. Anybody know who that guy is? Yeah, no, how about Amanda? Amanda who?
Yes, I'm here.
Amanda, can you? Did Miss Robinson make it? No, Miss Robinson. I'll mark that person out here. Edith Navarro not here. I think that's everybody then. Let's go. Okay, so according to the syllabus tonight, we have 1.5 and 1.6. So we're going to go to our book. You guys know where the book is. It's in the system now. Everybody should have it. It's under, I think, e-text here. And I'll just click on it. So we're going to go to 1.5 and 1.6. So we're going to go to our book. Hey guys, can't have that. I'm getting feedback. Go to our book. You guys know where the book is. So Sharon or Rebecca, one of you guys, I'm hearing it. You guys got to put your machines on mute. Rebecca, are you there?
Am I on mute?
No. Now you aren't either. Yeah, now you are. Okay, so we'll go back. So you guys should be able to see the book now. I'm hoping that you can. We're going to 1.5 quadratic equations. Can anybody be my person to go to just tells me if you can see stuff if I ask? Can anybody do that for me?
Sure, I'll do
Yeah.
it.
Who's that?
Oh, it was me.
Who?
Nikki Anderson.
All right. Thank you, Nikki. I got you down here for that. Keep me straight now. Okay, so look. Let me just, without the book, let me just show you this. If I have an equation like this, 2x squared plus 5x plus 7. And I want to use the quadratic equation. I have to identify the A, the B, and the C for the quadratic equation. And the quadratic equation is a negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So once you identify the a and the b, you just plug it in the equation. So the a is this. That would be 2. It's not the x, it's just the number in front. This is your b, lowercase, which is 5. And this is your c, and that's 7. So that's the quadratic equation, and that's how you identify the pieces of the puzzle. Again, at any time you have any questions, you guys say, Dr. Wick, I don't get it, or I don't understand. This is called plug and chugging. So it's kind of hard stuff for some, but for others, it may not be. Now, let me go to the first problem. The first problem, see where it is here. It's not popping up. Is this. Solve these by factoring. Well, if you look at what they did for A, they rewrote the problem at the very bottom of the page, step 2. They looked at the 4x squared and they looked at 2x and said, I can factor out a 2 and an x, which goes in both of these. So let me be very clear. Let me do a couple things for you. Let's see. Let's do this now. What I'm doing here is going to be important. It's all important, but this is especially. So for this first problem, they gave you 4x squared minus 2x, and they set this equal to 0. And they want you to factor it. They want to find the numbers that when you put in for x will equal 0. So they looked at both the 4 and the 2 and the x's and figured out what can they factor out of them. So they factor out a 2 and an x. Why? Because 2 goes into 4 and 2 goes into 2. X goes into x squared and x goes into x. So what do you got to multiply 2x to get 4x squared? And it's 2x. Why? Because 2 times 2 is 4, and x times x is x squared. Then you have the minus sign right here. And then what do you have to multiply 2x to get 2x? And it's 1. Set it equal to 0. Now, what can you put in for x to equal to 0? Well, obviously, if that's a 0, 0 times anything is 0. It doesn't matter what's in there. So that's one of your answers. The other one is you take this number, put it underneath this, and change the sign, which would be 1/2. It's always, you take the number in front of the x, put it underneath the 1, or whatever number is there, and change the sign from minus to plus. So this is the unique part of this. These are your answers, but they're really what x cannot be in your solution. For example, if this was x over this, we know that x cannot equal 0. So we set it up equal to 0. Why? Because if you get 0 in the denominator of any equation, what does that mean? It's undefined. It doesn't work. So this is one method of figuring out what the zeros are. Now, it's on recording. Let me do the next one. Or any question about this one before I go? I'm going to erase this and do another one. I'm going to show you the FOIL method. The FOIL method. We're going to work the problem in the book. The book gives you 2x squared minus or plus 7x equals a -4, I believe, or equals 4. And we want to set it equal to 0, so we're just going to push this 4 to the other side. That's going to give us 2x squared plus 7x minus 4 equals 0. Now, in the FOIL method, we work from this. We bring down our 2x squared, boom, and we bring down the -4. You would do this for every equation like this. You'd say something times something equals the first number, the a times the c, which in this case is -8. That's 2 times the -4. And those same two numbers added together equal your middle term, only the leading exponent, and that's 7. What two numbers do that? 8 and -1. That tells you how the middle terms are broken down. So this would be plus 8x minus x. It's 1x coming from here. That's coming from there. The next step is my favorite fish. What do you call that? Group them. A grouper. Now you look at the first two parts of this polynomial, and you factor out what you can. And we did this one. A 2 and an x, which gives you x plus 4. Why? Because 2 goes into both 2 and 8, and x goes into x squared and an x. You can test it. 2x times x gives you 2x squared, and 2x times 4 gives you 8x. Now, the rule is if you have x plus 4 on the left, you have to have it on the right. And that's in parentheses. We do have to multiply 4 to get -4. It's a -1. You can test it. -1 times x gives you a -x. So now we have our factors, which is 2x minus 1 and x plus 4. You set that equal to 0. What makes this equal to 0? Of course, -4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Remember, I told you to take the 2, put it underneath the 1, and change the sign, so this would be 1/2. So x cannot equal 1/2 or -4. Now, whatever makes the thing 0 is your answer. So, for example, we can do a shortcut one here. I have x plus 5 and x minus 3 equals 0. What does x have to be in order to make it 0? Anybody? What makes this package 0 here, this factor? What added to 5 makes it 0? Are we disconnected?
-5.
Exactly. 5 minus 5 is 0. Duh. It doesn't matter what's on the other side. That'd make it -8. But 0 times anything is 0. And what about this one? What does this x have to be to make it 0?
+3.
Exactly. A 3. Angelica's right. So here you go. This is what you're trying to figure out in algebra. All this stuff is factored. I know it's painful, but this is what you guys got to figure out. And you got to do one that makes sense to you. Are any questions about this one? I'm sure there should be.
Is that a 2x squared plus 8x minus x minus 4?
Yes, it is. You're talking about this line right here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 2x squared plus 8x minus x. Now, see, from above right here, this is how you get your middle term right there. One gives you 8x, the other one gives you minus 1x, but that's the same thing as minus x.
Okay, so where did you get the -8 and the 7 from again? The 7 is the middle, is B, and
It's
you
always the middle
multiplied.
term. Go ahead, Lillian.
Did you multiply the 2, the A equals the 2?
The first term times the last term
Okay.
always gives you that.
Okay. All right.
Now, if there's nothing in front of the x squared, it's a 1.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Well, I'm not real happy yet. Let's see. Let me do a more basic one. One more. I'm doing this just to help you guys. Because in the test, you're going to have to do this stuff. Let me give you this one. X squared minus x minus 6 equals 0. So you bring down the x squared and you bring down the minus 6. Say something times something equals, and those same numbers added together will equal the middle term. What's the middle term in this case? Anyone. Doesn't have to be Lillian.
The X?
It's a -1. It's always the number in front of it. So what goes above the -1 there in this equation? It's the first term times the last one. What is that going to be? What's 1 times a -6? This is technically 1 here.
-6.
Okay, what two numbers solve that? This is the puzzle part. What two numbers multiply together?
-1, 6.
-3 and +2.
Exactly. India's right. The largest number has to be the negative number because your middle term is negative. Now, this tells you how the middle term is broken out. So this would be minus 3x. This would be plus 2x. And now we have it broken down. The next step is grouping. We group these two, and we group these two. What can we factor out of the first two parts of this puzzle? Only an x. So you get x minus 3. If you have x minus 3 on the left, you have to have it on the right. That's the rule. Now, what do you have to multiply 3 by to get -6? And that's a 2. And you can test it. 2x is what you get when you multiply the other two numbers. So our factors are, since it's a +2, it's x plus 2 and x minus 3. And that equals 0. Now, what makes this package here 0?
-2.
Exactly. And what makes this package here 0?
+3.
Okay, now let me just share this with you. Jennifer's correct. These are now ordered pairs, -2, 0, and 3, 0. Where does the 0 come from? Here. Now, what is this that we just did? This is a graph. It holds water because the leading coefficient is positive. Notice if this was a negative, it would look like this. The two numbers you found are the intercepts. These 2 points right here. One's -2, 0. That's this one here. And one is 3, 0. Now, I'm not going to erase this. I'm going to prove this to you. Now, this is the manual way to do this. Let's go to our calculator. So here we are on our calculator. It's now working. It's asleep. We're going to go to y equals. We're going to put in the equation that we have. It was somebody's got to mute, please. We have x upper arrow squared. We're going to push it out. Minus x. Here's our x's are here. Then we're going to do minus 6. Now, since the number in front of the x squared, which is not shown here, which is known to be 1 because it's inferred, we're going to graph this. It's going to hold water. This graph is going to look like a bucket. Now, your zeros are here and here. Can you see my arrow on the calculator?
Yes.
Okay, now, if you did not know these points, there's a couple ways to do it. What would be one way you could do this? Does anybody know? Nobody? Since we know there's zeros, we can go to table. So we'll do second, and then there's your table right there. Now it lists all your zeros. This is a -2, 0, and there's your 3, 0. Now notice when the y is 0, you get an x number, and that's an x-intercept. Now notice right here, 0, -6. That's the y-intercept. Let's go back to see what we're talking about. These two dots are your x-intercept. That means the 0 is going to be in the y position. Why? Because this is -2, 0, and this is 3, 0. Now the y-intercept in the equation, let's look at the equation. If x is 0, then the y must equal -6 because 0 squared is 0 minus 0. And so always the last number, and they don't even teach it hardly anymore, is the y-intercept. So going back to our graph, look, there it is, 0, -6. It's right down here. And again, we go to our table. If you didn't believe it, there it is, 0, -6. Now I want to show you one other thing. We graph this. Let's say it was in between. You can use what we call trace. Trace is right here. It's this little white button below calc, and look at it. There's trace. Look at it says the y-intercept 0, 6. Let's go up the other side. We're moving the arrow up. There it is. Now it's not quite perfect. It says 1.96, but it's -2, 0. Now if you go up a little further, it skips it. So you want to be, the trace is kind of accurate, but not always perfect. So we're going to go to the other side. We're looking for 3, 0. Now notice here's your x scores and here's your y. Going up all the way up the other side now. There it is. 3.003, and it's almost 0 there. So that's another way to do it. So on a test, if you have multiple choice, you surely could guess. Now I showed you very succinctly how to do these problems. You will not know how to do these just because I showed you one time, but you should get used to using your calculator to make this work. Now back to the book. Plus, thank goodness for Hunter because he's helped you with this. Now, you don't know this, but you did B. B was 2x squared plus 7x equals 4. We pushed the 4 on the other side. We did this one. You can go back and watch a movie. It'll be the same one. Now, using the quadratic equation. Sometimes you don't need to do this. Let me give you, let me do the first one for you. And you're going to say, well, Dr. Wick, how do you know how and when? Well, you just kind of know. And if you attend the reviews, I'll tell you what to look for. But let's look at this one. Start from scratch, and we'll bring it to you. We'll help you figure it out. Okay, so they give you 3x squared minus 15 equals 0. And our goal our goal is, we can graph this with our calculator and find the solution. We can do that. Let's just do that before we do any work. Let's go back to our calculator. Boom. Go to my y equals, clear that out. What was, I didn't write it down. What was it? 3x squared. What was it? Minus 15, I think. And we're going to graph it. Notice the number in front of x squared is a 3. Or was it minus 15x?
It's 3x squared minus 15 equals 0, I think.
Okay. Okay. So let's graph it. There it is. Now we can change the windows so we can see it a little more. Let's make this, do the y to a negative, let's do 20. But this is the regular one you just saw for your windows. Well, let's see it now. So now you can see the bottom part. We just changed the window to make this line a little different. So you can see it holds water. These are your intercepts. Now, let's do it manually. We change these windows back. It's easy enough to do. Negative 10. And we'll hit then we'll stop sharing. We will then go to this, our book. Reinforce it, 3x squared minus 15 equals 0. Now we'll do it manually. Now I'm spending a lot of time on this first ones because I don't want to just go through stuff. I want you to understand kind of what I have. All right. All right. So I can factor out only a 3. But let's put the 15 on the other side. Let's do 3x squared equals 15. Let's divide both sides by 3. So now we get x squared equals 5. Remember, whatever you do to the left, you can do to the right. Now, what squared equals 5? Well, it's the square root of 5 plus or minus. How do you figure that out so easy, Doctor Wickman? How do you do that? Well, it's like this. If I say x squared equals 9, what does x equal? You're going to say, well, it's plus or minus 3. The same thing with 5. You got to take the square root of, well, the square root of 9 was 3, so it's plus or minus. It's always going to be plus or minus. So the answer for that intercept was negative square root of 5, 0, and positive square root of 5, 0. Here and here. Now, back to the book. I went into a lot of detail on these problems so far. Let's go to the next one. Again, because why? Having to understand these is important. Now, because all this is factoring. Now look at B. Let me do a simple example for this, a simpler one. Sharon, I think you're hearing some squeaking in the back. If you can help me there, thank you. What if I ask you, I want the solution of this? The square root of a negative 25. Well, that's equal to square root of negative 1 times the square root of 25. We can do this part, but the other one here, this is an imaginary number. Remember, I equals I squared equals a negative 1, I cubed equals a negative I, and I to the fourth power equals a positive 1. You should memorize this and note that the most important one is this one right here. This is the one we use the most. Why? Because it's the one that matches up here, right there. So negative 1 technically is I squared. The square root of 25 is 5. So the square root of I squared, if this number matches this number, get whatever's inside, you write this as 5I. And so the answer is always plus or minus. Boom. It's always plus or minus. So if I ask you what's the square root of pure 25, you're going to say plus or minus 5. Why? Because 5 times 5 is 25. And a negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. So it's always going to be plus or minus. Again, I spent a lot of time on this. I was sure, and this would be what you would call homework then, if you're not clear on this. Now they're showing you a little bit of some tricks. Number 3. By the way, what you're seeing here, and I want to be very frank, example 3 is sometimes an entire lesson in algebra. It's a whole day. They want to know how to complete the square. I'll do A first because we don't have time all night. And you have x squared plus 8x. They want you to complete the square. I'm going to give you a little shortcut. Again, they gave you x squared plus 8x. To complete the square, you have to add something to this side. Now, technically, there's a 0 on this side, but whatever you add to the left, you have to add to the right. Now, they don't show that, but they're going to later on. Now, to complete the square, you always take half of the middle term. What's half of 8x? 4. So you'd have x plus 4. Why? Because if you're completing the square, let's do it down here. You have x plus 4. The square means you're going to do x plus 4. That's the square that will get you all of this stuff here, except for this part right here. Now you multiply this out, you get your x squared. Then you take this times this, which gives you 4x. This times this gives you another 4x. That gives you the 8x. So we have all the parts of the puzzle so far. X squared plus 8x. But you still have to do the 4 times 4, which means you're added 16. Now, if you add 16 on the left, you have to add 16 on the right, and that's completing the square. Again, it's always going to be half of this middle term. You say, Dr. Wick goes too quick. That's because I'm going to do another one. X squared plus 10x plus something will equal that. Half of the square. Everybody knows half of 10 is 5. You put x plus 5. That completes the square. Technically, you added 25. Why? Everything's the same except for you just take the last number multiplied by itself. That's your shortcut. That's going to give you 25. You add 25 on the left, you have to do it on the right. That's simple. We'll do another one. X squared minus 16. It's too big. Let's do it, make it easier. X squared minus 4x. So we want to complete the square. What's half of negative 4? Negative 2. X minus 2 squared. That means you have 2 times 2, so you added 4 here. If you add 4 on the left, you have to add it on the right. Because the negative 2 times the negative 2 is 4. So let's test it. X minus 2 times x minus 2. X times x gives you the x squared. X times this gives you minus 2x. This times this gives you another minus 2x. And this times this gives you plus 4. So obviously 2x and 2x gives you the minus 4x. Everything matches up above. Here it is. You had to add the 4 to complete the square. But if you add 4 on the left, you have to do it on the right. And that's it, class. That's really the good to know that. All right. So again, as I shared with you, some things will be tough. Some days won't. Right now, we're on a kind of tough stuff because I told you that was a whole lesson normally. Now, solving a quadratic equation by completing the square, we just did this. But I'm going to do it again for you just to show you how it's done. I'm not going to do the book one. I'll just do it myself. I'll just show you my way. Same way as the book, by the way. It's just I think I'll explain it better. So here we go. We will only do this one problem like this because of time. They want us to complete the square. We have x squared minus 6x plus 4 and it's set equal to 0. Now to complete the square, we're going to have to push this to the other side. That way we end up what we had before, x squared minus 6x equals a negative 4. Now we know we're going to add something to this to complete the square. But whatever we add to the left, we have to add to the right. What's half of negative 6? Everybody knows it's minus 3. That's our square. Technically then, negative 3 times negative 3 equals 9. If we add 9 to the left, we add 9 on the right. If this is the final answer, 9 minus 4 is 5. That's completed the square. That's the easiest way to do it. How did they get the minus 3? Half of the middle term. Remember, that's x minus 3 because it's a square times x minus 3. Everything is going to be the same except you're adding the last two numbers multiplied together, which is 9. If you add it to the left, you have to add it to the right. This was my final answer. And let's take a look and see if that's right. I do make mistakes. You all know that. Probably did it plenty of times already. Let's look at the next page. There's your answer. Look at 3b. X minus 3 squared equals 5. Now, they go on, besides what we did, they want to solve for x. So let's go back to where we were then. I didn't erase it. If you take the square root of the left, you get x minus 3. If you take the square root of the right, you get square root of 5. Because if you take the square root of the left, you have to take the square root of the right. Now to get x by itself, you add 3 to both sides. So x is going to equal then 3, and it's always plus or minus square root of 5. That's how they get this answer here. They try to get x by itself, so they push the 3 to the other side. There's your 3. And then it's always plus or minus. So let's take a look again. X equals 3 plus the square root of 5, and x equals 3 minus the square root of 5. Now, most students will ask, at step 3, how do you know it's only plus or minus the square root of 5? Because you haven't moved the 3 over there. Look at step 4. Step 4 shows when you took the square root of the left, you got x minus 3. You get whatever's inside the parenthesis. You take the square root of the left, it's always plus or minus the square root of the right. All right, number 5. We're going to skip that one because it's another completing the square. Going to go to next problem we want to do. The quadratic, which we already have done. I showed you the quadratic equation. Here, number 6, they want you to identify the A, the B, and the C. Once you identify the A, the B, and the C, you just plug it in. You can use your calculator. Now, sometimes students will get confused. You're confused, probably just because you just haven't done many of these. But the A, the B, and the C are easily picked out, and you just got to put them in and work it. And I would practice this one. This is probably the most common one you'll have, number 6. Let's see what else we have here. 7, they just identified the A, B, and C again. They did another one. Same things. One will give you an imaginary number. They'll probably come up with that next. Just do it. Here's your imaginary one. Remember, look at, let's see, look at 3 lines below where you have the square root of negative 44. Remember, you have to take, well, let me work it from here for you. 2 plus or minus 2i times the square root of 11 all over 6. Let me do this part for you here, because most of it is plugging in, but at that point, it's not any harder. It's just, sometimes someone just needs to point it out. So you're at this point. 2 plus or minus 2. Let's see. Is that what I wanted to do? No, shoot, no. Let's see. I didn't want to do that line. Let me go back. I want to make sure I get the right line for you guys. I want to do, 2 plus or minus the square root of 44. I don't know why I did that. 2 plus or minus square root of negative 44. Yeah, let me do this for you. At this point, my brain just said something else. All right. Can you all see this now? 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 44 all over 6. Now, I'm going to rewrite this like this. 2 plus or minus the square root of 44 times the square root of negative 1 all over 6. Now, the square root of 44 is equal to the square root of 4 times the square root of 11. The square root of 4 is 2, so 11 stays the same. So now, this here goes to this. 2 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 11 times the square root of a negative 1 all over 6. Now, negative 1 is just here, and we did the square root of 44. It's all right here. Well, the negative 1 thing, remember, I squared equals a negative 1. So if you have the square root of I squared, it equals I. So that means you have 2 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 11 I. Again, how do we get this to be this? It's all right here. Negative 1 equals I squared. If this number matches this number, you get whatever's inside. That's an I. And all this is all over 6. Now, look, let's simplify this. We can divide by triangulation everything by 2. That means this piece, this piece, this piece has to be divisible by 2. Well, 2 divided by 2 gives you 1. Plus or minus 1, that's the same thing. Square root of 11, I. 6 divided by 2 is 3. That's your answer. Now, you could write it 1 plus the square root of 11i over 3. Or you could write 1 minus the square root of 11i all over 3. Let's see what the book says. They might write it like this. They might 1 minus I times the square root of 11, plus or minus, I could do that, all over 3. But let's see. Mine get a little scribbly there. Yeah, they put the I in front. 1 plus or minus the square root of 11 over 3. So I only show you this one because sometimes you have negative numbers. And I just want you to be very clear. The most important thing is using your I. Now, the discriminant. I'm just sharing with you, this is a tough night. This discriminant is the b squared minus 4ac. If you remember, you have a negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. If you go back to the quadratic equation right here, x equals negative b plus or minus b squared. The discriminant is the part that's underneath the radical, b squared minus 4ac. They're just pointing that out. Later on, it'll be something you'll have to consider. So they're going to just simply ask you to calculate the discriminant. How do you calculate the discriminant? Look at the solution here on page 161. The equation was 3x squared plus 4x minus 5. We know the discriminant is b squared, so you have b squared minus 4a, 4 times 3 times negative 5. The discriminant is 76. What that means is that this is not a perfect square because you have something left over, a remainder. If this was a perfect square, you would have no remainder in your discriminant. They give you that example, B.
Excuse me, Professor. I cannot see anything. My screen is black.
Is anybody else having trouble?
No.
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 Can
No,
you
I
all
can
see? So it's something wrong with your computer, ma'am. Now it says, what method do you use to solve these problems? Well, that all depends. Let's look at number 10. This is a plug and chug problem. Notice that men's blood pressure is much higher than women's until the age of about 50. And then for some reason or other, women start having greater blood pressures. So they give you a formula. P, that's blood pressure, equals 0.006, A squared minus 0.02A plus 120. Well, what is A? A is your age. So they say, okay, they want to know what is the age of a person with a blood pressure of 125. So look at the solution. They put 125 on the left, and they have the rest of the equation on the right. They set it equal to 0, so minus the 125 on the left, you get the line that you see with the 0. You have your negative, you have your A, your B, and your C. And you solve it using quadratic equation. Now notice the age is 31 in one answer, because it's always plus or minus, and age is minus 27 in another. There's no such thing as minus 27, so that number is a rejection. You can look at it, this is a great problem. I think that's all I'm going to do in this chapter. I want to start the other one. I went through too much detail on this one because it is a detailed required problem. And I didn't want you to think I want to shortchange you. Now, I don't want you to get frustrated. That would be homework, but the review will help you tremendously. Now, other types of equations, 1.6. solving a polynomial equation by factoring. That's what this is all about. Look, number 2 is too simple. I'll do number 2, and you're going to say, oh, we kind of covered it. We did. We have x cubed plus x squared equals 4x plus 4. And what we're going to do is simply group it. So if we do the FOIL process with this one, this is 80% done. Let's look. They said factor this. X cubed. Ryan left. X cubed plus x squared equals 4x plus 4. We want to set this equal to 0, so we want to push all this stuff over here. So now we have x cubed plus x squared minus 4x minus 4 equals 0. We're going to group them. We're going to factor on x squared here. We get x plus 1. Now notice this is a cube, so there are going to be 3 factors. If we have x squared here, we have to have, if we have x plus 1 on the left, we have to have x plus 1 on the right. What do we have to multiply 1 by to get to -4? It's a -4. Our factors are this, x plus 1. And what makes that factor 0? -1, 0. And then we also have this one, x squared minus 4. Now you're going to say, well, what's the answer there? Plus or minus 2. That's correct. Why? Because this factors to x minus 2 and x plus 2. Your 3 factors are 2, -2, and -1. Let's go to the next page. Ryan's back. Good deal.
Yeah, sorry, my internet cut out on accident.
Oh, no worries. I saw you were here. Let's go to number 3. This is not going to be nearly as long as the other chapter. The square root of x equals 9. Well, if you don't know this problem, let's see if they give us a good example. I don't want to waste your time. Okay. This is a complicated problem that we're going to make easy. They give you the square root of 2x minus 1 plus 2 equals x. Now, in all of these problems, remember, all we're trying to do is figure out what x is. And I'm sharing with you ways to do it. So, trying to figure out here. If I have the square root of 2x minus 1 under the radical plus 2 equals x, I want to get rid of the radical part to help make this easier. So I'm going to push this on the other side. That's going to give me the square root of 2x minus 1 equals x plus 2. Now, how do I solve this to get x by itself? Well, I'm going to square this side. Why? Because when you square it, you get whatever's inside. You're going to get 2x minus 1. But if you square the left, you got to square the right. X plus 2 gives you squared, gives you x squared plus 4x plus 4. Now, I knew that right off the bat because I've done these before, but look. X plus 2 times x plus 2. X times x gives you the x squared. X times this gives you plus 2x. We did this one before. You just don't remember. This times this is a plus 2x here as well. And then 2 times 2 gives you 4. We now have x squared plus 4x plus 4, which is what we have here. Now, to solve this, I want to set it equal to 0. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. It's going to give me -1 equals x squared plus 2x plus 4. I'll push the 1 on the other side. I get now x squared plus 2x plus 5 equals 0. I have to use the quad to solve this. My A, my B, and my C. A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, C equals to 5. And let's see what they do. Well, there might be another shortcut. Let's see what they do. I think on this one there is. Maybe not. Nah. Well, let's see. Maybe I messed up. Did I write it down 1 plus 2? Let's see. Square root of x minus 2. Oh, I think I did. Hold on. No. Oh, wait. Shh. I can't let this happen. Shh. Slowly. The square root of 2x, I must be getting tired too, minus 1 plus 2 equals x. I put the 2 on the other side, I get the square root of 2x minus 1 equals x minus 2. I square the left-hand side, I get 2x minus 1. I square the right, we get x squared minus 4x minus 4. I subtract 2x from both sides, I get x squared minus 6x. If I add 1 to both sides, I get minus 3. This factors to x. Let me check what I'm thinking wrong here. We don't have to do it all over. We just have to check. See why my brain's falling asleep. Add 1 and 1. What did I have? And C. Did I write? Let's see if I wrote this down. X minus 2, that's right. X minus 1 here. When you multiplied it, you get 4. So let's take a look again. This is a plus 4. Why? Because x minus 2 squared gives you x squared minus 4x plus 4. So this becomes a 5. So this factors to x minus 5. And x minus 1. That means your zeros are 5 and -1. It's perfectly done. Sharon, you good?
I just
So that's that. Let's go back to the book.
I have a question.
You go back to it?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
So if you go to the third line,
Here.
yes, if you combine, so you subtract 2x minus 1 and you get negative 6x.
6.
Isn't it supposed to be plus 3 then?
Where'd you get plus 6? If you have 1 on the left, you have to add it on the right, you get plus 5.
Oh, okay, got it.
You're trying to get 0 on the other side. Good point. I appreciate that, Lillian, because at least you're thinking.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that. We're almost finished, class. I'm not going to push you too much. We just technically have 9 minutes left, but I just want you to see some of these. Number 4 is a little bit more complicated. It has squares on both sides, but it's easily done. It's not hard. You have to just square it twice. Let's see what else we have here. Let me show you number 3. 5A. Let me do 5A for you guys. This will be one that you need to see. Let me see if I can do this just without even looking at it. Somebody's got their phone on, got to mute it. Lillian, maybe that's you.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. You're good, though. I appreciate you. Okay. So they gave us this problem. 3x to the 3/4 power minus 6 equals 0. And our goal is just to find out what x is. So I'm going to push the 6 on the other side first. I have 3x to the 3/4 power equals 6. Divide both sides by 6. So now I have 2, or by 3. Correction. I now have x to the 3/4 power equals 2. Because if I divide this side by 3, I just get x. I'll rewrite that so it's clear. To get x by itself, I'm going to multiply this by the reciprocal, 4/3, which gives you x by itself. But if I do that to the left, I got to do it to the right. Now, you could use your calculator for this, but what this is, it's the cube root of 2 to the 4th power. Now, I don't know if the book will give you this or use the calculator answer, but let's see. Yeah, they give you 2 to the 4/3 power. You can put that in your calculator and get the number. Let's just do that too. I'm about ready to wrap up because I know you guys are tired too. Let's do, turn it on. Two to the 4/3 power, 4 divided by 3. Push it out. You can enter. It's 2.5198. And we can check that. Maybe they'll give it. The book should give it. Yeah, 2.52. There it is right there. It is right approximate. Let's see if there's anything else I want to go over tonight. We should do one more problem, but we won't. Well, maybe we will. We'll do the absolute problem. I'm going to do number 9 for you because this is a totally different thing and your brain won't hurt so much. We'll just do this one. 2x minus 3, and we'll call it quits. Now, if you recall, I'm not going to use the book. I'm just going to use my brain here. I know I'm tired, but I might make a mistake, but I hope not. Okay, so when you have an absolute value problem, the answer is always going to be plus or minus. So if you put absolute value of 3 in here, it's going to give you 3. If I put a negative 3 in here, it's still going to give you 3. So, correction, it can never be negative, excuse me. It can only be positive because an absolute value machine can only give you a positive number. So on the test, they might have something like this. Determine what x is. Well, it's not possible because you can't have a negative number. Now, in thinking like that, this problem says you have absolute value of 2x minus 3 equals 11. Now, this is a little bit different. The x is not on the right-hand side. The right-hand side is positive. Like we did on the other problem over the before, what number here could equal 11? The answer is plus or minus 11. So we're going to solve it like this. 2x minus 3 equals 11. It's plus or minus. 2x minus 3 equals a negative 11. Now, what's the possible solutions? We want to get x by itself. Push the 3 to the other side, so we have 2x equals 14. X is equal to 7. Now, let's see if it's true. 2 times 7 is 14 minus 3 is 11. It works. Let's do this one. I'm going to put the 3 on the other side. So we have 2x then. What's negative 11 and 3? Is that 8? Because if you add 3 on the left, you have to add 3 on the right. So 2x equals 4. Let's see if it works. 2 times 4 is, let's see. Is that right? Add 3, 8. X is equal to 4. 4 times 8. Oh, this is a negative 8.
It'd be negative 8.
Yeah, so this is negative 4. So if you have a negative 4 times 2, you get a negative 8, and a negative 3 gives you a negative 11. The absolute value of a negative 11, boom, is 11. So the answer is 7 and negative 4. Pretty cool. All right, that's it for tonight. Let me just take a roll again, make sure I've got everybody accounted for. And if you have any questions of me, and when I call your name, you can say hasta la vista. You don't have to ask me a question, but if you do, it gives you a chance. So, Jennifer, are you there? A medical assistant? Armando?
Yes, I'm here.
Anything?
No, no questions. Thank you.
Okay, Nikki,
Yes. No
you
question.
good? Block, you stick with me. Rebecca Calazana. Okay, she must have dropped out. I'll make a note of that. How about?
This is Rebecca. I'm still here.
Oh, okay, good. So you're free to go. Just want to make sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Vanessa, not here. Sharon, a medical supply person.
Sir. Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right.
Yes.
Ryan,
I'm here. No questions.
Alexa,
I'm here.
you're good. Marissa,
Yes,
Marissa Flores,
I'm good.
Alma Garcia,
Yes.
Okay, hold on, let's go.
okay, Mahogany Gillis, are you good? Nope. Jordan, not here. Monica Hickson.
Thank you. I'm here.
Good.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night. Lillian,
I'm here. Thank you so much.
Reba,
I'm here. Thank you.
Emma, thank you.
I'm here. I'm all good. Thank you.
Rosio,
I'm here. No questions. Good night.
Angelica,
I actually do have a question.
yes.
So as of right now, we don't have anything due.
Well, you probably got a ton of stuff to do up tonight, right?
Well, yeah.
You don't have anything. You don't have to send anything to me. I didn't send you a message for anything yet, right?
Yeah, not yet. I'm just making sure.
The only time you'll have a homework if I send you a message.
Okay, perfect.
But who am I speaking with?
Angelica.
I'm gonna mark the special one for you. I'll try to send you a couple of them here this weekend, all right?
Okay, perfect.
No, I'm kidding you.
Don't do that. Don't play.
Come on. Good night. Indira.
Yes.
Okay, Gabriel.
Hello, hello. There's no questions. You have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Amanda.
I'm here. Thank you. No questions. Have a good night.
Yeah, you guys can sign out. Edith, are you there? No. How about Alex Rodriguez? No. How about Joshua?
I'm here. No questions.
Ollie.
I'm here. Thank you.
Erica with 15 kids, or 3, excuse me.
Hi, it seems like 15. I'm here. I have to go go back and watch the playback. I caught the tail end of the live stream. So if I have any
All right.
questions, I'll email you if that's okay.
All right. See you guys.
All right, thank
Hunter,
you.
we're good. Anybody? You guys are all free. I appreciate your patience. It's a long night. Good night.
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Who would that be?
Me, Sharon.
Yes. What can I do for you?
Can I ask you? Yes, that is like I tried to open some of the quizzes and homeworks, but I could not find any content in there.
Yeah, I didn't have any for this course. I just asked you to look at the book.
Okay, sure, we'll do that.
Is that okay?
Yes, that is really okay. Thank you
So-
so much.
The reason I want you to be familiar with the book and not confused by a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
Appreciate you. Bye,
Mhm.
Sharon.
Bye bye. Good night.
Good night.
That's
Everybody else good?
Thank you.
I have a question. I wasn't here for the first day.
Is this Lexa?
Yes.
Okay.
So for like the homework and the assignments, how does that work?
I mentioned it a couple times. We do not have homework other than looking over the material that you don't understand
Okay.
tonight, and or looking at the stuff that's coming up for the next class.
Okay.
I will assign homework, and it'll be by an email.
Oh, okay. And then we turn it in through the email or through the
I haven't sent out the email yet with the directions.
Okay. Sounds
I will send it out, but not until we cover the stuff.
okay.
We haven't even covered the homework yet.
Okay. Any if we miss like a class, you mark attendance, right?
I do. And
Okay.
you just have to simply tell me you watched the video, and that counts.
Okay. The videos are in Blackboard, correct?
Hunter just gave you that information earlier and posted it on this message.
Okay. Well, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, Lexa. You got Hunter's contact, right, Lexa? Lexa, you there?
I believe so.
See Hunter block? Okay, thank you, Hunter. So Lexa, Hunter's looking after for you. All
Okay.
right.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
See it? You see it? There it is. It's on YouTube. All right, you guys. Hasta la vista. Bye, Alma. Hey, Hunter. Thank you. Bye. Aaron.
Goodbye. Good night.
Good night.
Professor
Bye,
Whitman?
Vanessa. Yes, Vanessa.
Oh, I just wanted to confirm my attendance. I made it a little late, but I made it.
Let me see. Oh, man. Thank you. Appreciate you
No
telling me
problem.
that. I don't have anybody helping me watch that. So
No worries.
I can certify you then.
Mhm.
Good deal. Vanessa, you heard all the stuff then, right?
Yeah, I heard it. Thank you.
You got to tell me one thing about yourself that you want me to know about you.
I love music. That's the main thing.
And you play an instrument?
I don't play instrument. I just love all kinds of music. I love going to concerts and festivals and all kinds of things.
One final question. Do you work?
I do work. I'm the one that works the night shifts. I called you earlier this morning.
Oh, yeah. And you work where?
I'm at a manufacturing plant making breast implants.
Yeah. You talk to me. What the heck is wrong with me?
No worries. You talk to a lot of people.
No, but I appreciate that. You call
No
me if you need
problem.
anything. I'm there for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.